Right, I wanted to go over the Harry Potter activity that we did after the quiz on Friday. So I have it up, so I'm going to go through the answers. So make sure you have it out and record it. And if you didn't do it, it's your lucky day because you can fill it in as I go over it. And when I get back on Wednesday, I will give you credit for doing it. So here are the answers. All right, the first thing you had to do was look at the relationships. All right, so it's asking the relationship between 1 and 2, which would be up here. So this, like we just said from the notes, is going to show a husband-wife relationship. So the answer would be husband and wife. The next one would be 1 and 10. Alright, so always put yourself maybe as one of the characters. Alright, if this is you, who would number 1 be? This would be my grandmother. So grandmother, grandchild would be 1 and 10. 4 and 5 would be right here. So showing those vertical lines coming down from a marriage would be brother and sister. 3 and 5 would be if this male marries your sister and this is you, this would be brother-in-law. So this would be brother-in-law, brother-in-law, 3 to 5. 5 to 8. 5 to 8. If this is you, that's your sister, and it's your sister's kids. So that would make 5 and 8, nephew and uncle. Number 8 and 10, here. Alright, so if this is you, this is your dad, this is your mom, this is your aunt and uncle, this would make 8 and 10 cousins. And the last one would be 1 and 3. Alright, so this would be your mother-in-law if you have married into the family. So make sure you know these relationships. If that confused you, go back and watch the video on the notes we just took. Alright, now we're going to be looking at Harry Potter. Number 1 says, if Mr. and Mrs. Weasley are a wizard and a witch, what are their genotypes? Alright, Mr. Weasley is a wizard, so he would be, and up here it says right here, is recessive to non-magic ability. So this is going to be an autosomal recessive trait. So it would be little m, little m. Mrs. Weasley is also little m, little m. So they are homozygous recessive. If they are both little m, little m's, then all of their children has to be what? Little m, little m. Set up the Punnett square if you don't believe me. It says draw a pedigree for the Weasley family below, using the shading to indicate genotypes. Also write names of the genotypes. So quickly, that's Mrs. Weasley, that's Mr. Weasley. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have Bill, Charlie, Percy, Fred, George, Ron, and Ginny, and all of these figures should be shaded in. And completely enclose those. Okay. Number 4, now let's look at Hermione Granger's family. Hermione is a witch, but her parents are both muggles. What genotypes of the 3 member Hermione? So if Hermione has to be little m, set up the Punnett square, work backwards. What does her mom and dad have to be? They have to be heterozygous in order to have, for them not to have magic ability, but to have a daughter who does. Draw a pedigree for the family below. I guess I should erase this. For whatever reason, it's not erasing. Alright, draw a pedigree for the Granger family below. So that would be mom, dad, Hermione. Mom is half shaded. Dad is half shaded. Hermione is full shaded. Alright, clear the screen. The last one. Draw a family for 3 generations of Harry Potter's family. Alright, so let's start with Harry. He's a wizard. His father, James, and mother, Lily, is a witch. So let's fill in. I don't know why I can't fill that in. So y'all understand that should be filled in. Alright. Both Harry's dad's parents had magic abilities. So his grandparents should be homozygous recessive as well. Why won't that work? Alright. However, Harry's mother's parents did not, nor does her sister. So let's add her sister. Both of her parents did not, so in order for their parents to not be, but she does, they have to be heterozygous. And the sister, we're not sure what the sister is. Petunia. Petunia is married to Vernon, and they have a son. Maybe we can figure it out. So there's a marriage here, and they have a son here named Dudley. None of the Dursleys have magical powers, so indicate whether or not they're Gina squares. So this should be the answer. For the question marks, all of the ones shaded in would be little m, little m. These would be heterozygous. Now, is there any way to tell what these are? We know we definitely have to have at least one big M and one big M, but there's no way to tell the second genotype. So this would be the answer for this pedigree. Right? If this didn't make sense to you, go back and rewatch the notes video.